Welcome to my AT Assault tutorial. AT Assault is the most important kit of the soldiers. You should always have one AT Assault with the tank and the squad leader. AT Assault is the best fighter of the infantries against the tank, because it has anti-tank grenade and limpet charge, which are both very powerful anti-tank gadgets. Then it has frag grenade and smoke grenade. This is more for the infantry fight, obviously, and smoke grenade is good when you're flanking the enemy tank, and you can use the smoke green as your cover to go to the enemy tank. It has Trasen pistol and Mars Automaticas pistols and MP18 experimental and sweeper. Sweeper is obviously the best weapon ATS has, even though it's not like a burst fire weapon like experimental is, but sweeper is very powerful and you can kill with 3 shots the enemy. So when you're playing AT Assault, before the enemy tank is down, you shouldn't contribute to the infantry fight that much. Of course you have to take the picks on your way to the enemy tank, but you should always be listening where the enemy tank is. And when you hear that where it is, you should like move towards it, not directly, and you shouldn't just run on the middle flank, even though you have flak jacket, which takes 50% of the damage from the explosives. So the splash damage of the tank does normally 70 damage, so it does 35 damage to you, and the enemy tank needs to splash damage you 3 times to get you down. Let's imagine that the enemy tank is here and in the canyon, and your teammate who is running to the hill spots the tank in the canyon. You shouldn't just run from here down. You go from the upper level where the tank cannot shoot you well. You throw one 18-8 to it, disable it. You disable the enemy tank by throwing it the 18-8 to its tracks. You throw another one. It's soft. If your tank still hasn't finished it, you can go and throw the limpet charge, which is a charge that takes a little moment to explode and destroy the enemy tank and finish it for you. You know that the enemy tank is coming back. You should be very aggressive and take as many picks as you can while kamikazing the enemy, but you should go for the death so you can redeploy with your gadgets again if your team doesn't have a demolition driver or mortar support which could provide ammo for you, and you could resupply for them. But remember to keep yourself in full gadgets as always as possible. When you feel like your team is having a hold and you can do a push, a sneak push, go behind a rock, wait for the enemy to push in, take 2 kills, push in, challenge the last one. At some point you will die anyways when pushing aggressively, but it doesn't matter because you want to die to get the gadgets. This is the most aggressive role, but it's not aggressive like just running blindly to the enemy. It should be aggressive when running towards the tank, but with stealth and with brains. You can take the enemy tank alone, and you're the only infantry class that can do it. But for taking the enemy tank alone, you need all your gadgets, so you have to use them smartly. If you just waste them and throw your 18-8s against infantry, or put the limpet at the house when you know there is an infantry to get the infantry frag, it doesn't help your team against the tank. If you have wasted your 18-8s and taken the enemy tank down already with your tank and you still have limpet charge, the limpet charge is also very good in destroying a building where the enemy infantry is hiding behind. You can throw the limpet charge, take a little bit distance, destroy the building and finish the enemy if he doesn't die to the explosion. But when you're out of ammo, you should go for the resupply from your teammates, and if it's not possible, you should just push on like hell until you die and you get the gadgets again. Because the gadgets you have are the most important thing, and you're a crucial part of your team's fight against the enemy tank. That's why always one of your teams should pick AT Assault. If you don't pick AT Assault, you don't have the strongest anti-tank infantry. And that makes the fight against the tank harder and if you lose the fight against the tank and you don't have anything to destroy it, then you have basically lost. But yeah, that was the tutorial this time. Thanks for watching.